Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City, home of the NFL's newest franchise, the Carolina Panthers. And tonight, home to some of the greatest skaters ever to have graced the ice. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill McAtee, and welcome to a night of skating here on USA. And I'm joined by Olympic silver medalist Rosalind Sumners. And Roz, you think about some of the names here tonight: Scott Hamilton, Katarina Witt. We had a chance to watch them in rehearsal. And what is really amazing is how night after night, year after year, they're able to skate at such a high level.
Well, speaking of high level, Katarina Witt has just come off of a year of intense Olympic training, and she's sharp. And Scott Hamilton, even though he hasn't been at that amateur competitive level for 10 years, he is physically and technically the best. He's still as strong as ever. It's amazing.
A reunion of sorts tonight, the legendary Canadian pair, Underhill and Martini.
Well, they're definitely the crowd favorites. And, you know, they just took a couple years off to become parents, and they missed it so much that they're back, and we couldn't be happier.
Everyone, of course, is talking about the Olympics. What is the biggest difference between Olympic competition and the show skating that we're going to see tonight?
Well, having done both, I have to say the biggest difference is there's no judges. I mean, this is fun. This is when we get a chance to come out and just entertain.
So we're all set to go, and we'll return to Charlotte in a moment. Welcome back to Independence Arena, Charlotte, North Carolina, and champions on ice on USA. On the ice now from Portland, Oregon, 1991 U.S. national champion Tonya Harding.
Tonya Harding was the first U.S. woman to land a triple axel in competition, and as you'll see tonight, the jumps are definitely her strongest suit.
And Tonya has a reputation as not really being a conformer.
Well, you know, a lot of controversy follows Tonya Harding, whether it's losing a blade in the middle of a program in competition or whether it's getting a death threat hours before she competes. And you know what? Sometimes those kind of problems can affect your consistency, but with Tonya, she's tough. It's fun to see that style of skating. A little different than the actual normal ballet.
Tonya Harding.
Now, team with 10-year veteran Jim York, please welcome Judy Blumberg and Jim York.
And on the ice, Judy Blumberg and Jim York. Great ice dancing team, and Judy Blumberg comprised one half of possibly the greatest U.S. ice dancing team ever. She combined with Michael Siebert to win 5 U.S. dance championships, 3 bronze medals at the World Championships, and won the gold medal at the 1988 World Professional Championship, and now her partner is Jim York.
She wears satin, Spanish silk. She feels wild, chinchilla brush across her face. She's lucky. She's a woman. She wears diamonds, bright as sun.
After the 1984 Olympics, Judy and Michael went on to skate professionally for a few years, and then Michael decided to go into the choreography side of skating. He helps choreograph such shows as Stars on Ice, the Witt show, and Judy really wasn't ready to hang up those skates. She really had so much more desire and performing in her, and she was very lucky to find another wonderful partner.
Ribbon diary of all the men she's kissed. So many men she's kissed.
choreographed by Frank Noasad, who unfortunately passed away just last year, and Judy and Jim are skating this in memory of him.
And I wish that she knew that woman.
The style and grace of Judy Blumberg and Jim York. And a nice round of applause from the crowd here in Charlotte. And we'll be back with more of Champions on Ice in a moment. Welcome back to Independence Arena, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Champions on Ice on USA. On the ice now, Robert Wagenhoffer. And Robert really is one of those skaters who has blossomed as a professional.
Well, you know, he got most of his professional performing in ice capades, and when you're performing night after night after night, you really learn how to make it work. You really learn how to work with this audience, and he's always a crowd favorite.
He was the world professional men's champion in 1990 and 1989, and the U.S. Open professional champion in 1990. Always a crowd favorite, Robert Wagenhoffer. As you think about Wagenhoffer's amateur career, and he was really unfortunate to come along at the same time as Scott Hamilton and David Santee.
He did. He never really got recognized for his talent in the amateur ranks. That's why as soon as he turned professional, he did start to blossom. These numbers were actually choreographed by Minnie Madden, who's from the dance world. Robert's very talented. He can take any kind of choreography and just look at him. I mean, he gets into it, he makes it work.
Championships. Please welcome Elizabeth Punselan and Jared Swallow.
The ice dancing team of Elizabeth Punselan and Jared Swallow, who got married in September of last year, first at the U.S. Championships in 1991.
actually fell in love while they were training. And their romantic quality just really comes out in their style and their choreography.
Both train with the Detroit Skating Club. I would think it would be difficult to skate with somebody who is more than just your skating partner.
Sounds tough, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But they managed to do it.
Pair teams that are either brother and sister or married really learn how to keep the skating on the ice. They rarely take it home, which is a wonderful quality. I don't know if I could do that. Just missed the Olympics by one spot. They were third. Very interesting. The team that actually took their spot was their ex-choreographer, Renee Roca. Now Renee Roca, who's also in this show, their top competitors. They look in love, don't they?
Elizabeth Punselin and Jared Swallow.
Coming up in a moment, an insightful conversation with 1984 Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton, who talks about the decision to put his competitive career behind him.
The temptation of competing was there, but I think sanity kicked in pretty well, and I thought, I've done it all, and I'm extremely thrilled looking back, and those memories get better every day. To go back and try to better them, can't happen.
Our next performer hopes to represent the United States in one of the 2 Olympic berths for ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, Elaine Zayak.
Taking the ice now from Paramus, New Jersey, the 1982 world champion when she beat Katarina Witt for that title, and that was really something of an upset. Elaine Zayak.
Elaine and I competed together 81 through 84. And nobody is more proud of her for this comeback than I am. We've become friends over the last 10 years, and this is a big comeback for her. This is something that's just for her. She's happy, she's loving the training. She's engaged to be married later this year. It's tough when you've been out of that amateur competitive scene for as many years as she has. It's very tough to come back and find those juices and handle the pressure. Short program from this season. As you can see, the different elements that she's doing. This is the footwork section. I have to say, these short programs aren't quite as much fun as the regular show programs because, you know, you definitely have to do the elements, and if you don't, that's when the judges take the marks off. Nice double axel.
Oh, and a great number from Elaine Zayak.
She's so happy, and it really shows.
World champion at the age of 16 and back in competitive skating now at the age of 28. And next on the ice, one of the country's consummate performers, Scott Hamilton. And we had an opportunity to talk with him earlier and asked him about both his Olympic gold in past and his future.
I like playing with the audience, and I like being in front of people, and I like, you know, everybody likes being the center of attention. You know, that's the fun part. But I'm hoping that once it's all done, once I'm not in the public eye anymore, and once I'm not, you know, on center stage or whatever, that I'll be able to deal with it all right. You know, it's a tough transition. I mean, anybody that's ever gone from being at the top of their game to not being in the game anymore, I think can struggle with it, and I'm really not sure how I'm going to be. You know, I think both feet are on the ground okay, and I think both eyes are wide open, but you know, until it happens, I'm really not sure how it's going to be.
Being the center of attention is where Scott Hamilton has positioned himself during his illustrious career. A gold medal in the '84 Olympic Games, 8 years as the lead in Stars on Ice, and a position as the lead skating analyst on Winter Olympic coverage have kept Scott involved in the sport he loves. And it was that love and a burning competitive fire caused Scott a year ago to consider coming back.
'84 was a dream year for me. I went 4 years as an amateur undefeated, you know, on a world level. I can't better that. Why go back? I mean, I won the Olympic gold medal. Why go back? I mean, will I win it again against this field? Browning, Stoico, Petrenko, Boitano, Davis. I mean, you know, those guys are tough. I mean, and for anybody to win that medal, all the planets are going to have to line up just the right way for that person. So there really wasn't anything for me to gain by going back except motivation of being in the Olympic kind of spirit again. But again, that when I compared the sides of the sheet, it really didn't balance out.
What has balanced out for Scott is his ability to combine technical skill, athleticism, and theatrical performance to captivate a crowd. It's a balancing act he's proud to perform and hopes to continue, at least for a few more years.
You know, I really love skating, and I like performing, and I like touring, and I like the training, and I like just being on the ice. So who knows when that's done? I don't know how I'm going to react, but as long as it lasts, I'm going to take, you know, and especially now that I can see, and I think I appreciate each performance a little bit more.
And there he is, the four-time men's world professional champion, and of course, the 1984 Olympic gold medalist. Still doing it and doing it well 10 years later. And Scott starts his program with a very difficult jump to triple Lutz.
He's still right on, isn't he?
Oh, that was beautiful.
I sung a lot of songs, I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life in stages.
Not only is he technically great every night on tour, but he's the one that really keeps the morale and the spirit up of the group of skaters. A lot of traveling we do. He's a real buddy to all of us.
People may not realize what a tremendous athlete he is. I mean, if Scott were about 6'1", he'd be doing 360s dunking a basketball. Can really get up off the ice.
course, behind the Discover Card Stars and Ice Tour.
Scott Hamilton, and they love him here in Charlotte.
Scott gets them on their feet every single time.
Still to come on Champions on Ice, the long-awaited reunion debut. 6-time world professional champions Paul Martini and Barbara Underhill. Plus, 2-time gold medalist Katarina Witt in the role of Robin Hood, a character she's dreamed of portraying since childhood.
God, I wish I could be Robin Hood one day, you know, someone who was fighting for poor people, was fighting for freedom. I mean, his whole personality, and I mean, he was such a hero. And so I decided I really want to portray his character, and especially for me, it's fun to dress up like a guy. You know, it's with the twinkle in an eye.
Welcome back to Independence Arena, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Champions on Ice on USA. And on the ice now, Renee Roca and Gorsha Sir. Renee is 30 years old, from Rochester, New York. Currently trains at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. And Gorsha Sir, if you followed skating at all, know that he's a native of Moscow, Russia, and he's 26 years old.
They have such a fun quality about their skating. Before reinstating into amateur competition, Gorsha and Renee did the Boitano Witt Tour, toured for 2 years with them.
Gary Beacom.
The 1989 World Professional Champion from Canada, one of the most innovative and unusual skaters around. This is Gary Beacom. Rosalind, Gary is sort of reminiscent of another Canadian skater, Tyler Cranston, who would do a lot of unusual things on the ice that really sometimes look silly, but they're very difficult to do.
They're very difficult. Gary can get his body in so many wild positions. He's definitely the most innovative skater. He takes the risks and the chances that a lot of other skaters won't take. And it works. They love it. Represents the art side of figure skating, doesn't he?
Gary Beacom, member of the 1984 Canadian Olympic team.
Only one female skater in history has won 3 Olympic gold medals. She revolutionized the sport with her costuming, athleticism, and choreography. Now, here's Zayak with a tribute to the 1924, 1928, and 1932 Olympic gold medalist, the legendary Tonya.
And on the ice now, Zayak and a tribute to the 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Tonya Henney. Roz representing a time when skating was a lot different than it is today.
You can really see how skating has changed. Just the line of skating. Famous for running on her toes.
There were sunbeams in the snow, and a twinkle in your eye. I remember oh so clearly that you nearly passed me by. Then it happened in Sun Valley.
We talked at the beginning of the show about how this kind of performance is fun for the skaters, and I think we're seeing a good example of that right now on the ice.
I almost feel as if I'm watching Sonya Henne. Gia really has the moves down.
She's just not in black and white.
Very fun.
As Sonya Henne, that's Gia Godot. From three-time Olympic champion Sonya Henne to two-time gold medalist Katarina Witt. She skates to the music of Robin Hood when we continue with more of Champions on Ice from Charlotte.
Taking care of business every day.
In all the world of sports, there's probably nothing more beautiful than figure skating. And when the U.S. Figure Skating Association takes to the ice, you just know they'll be taking care of business.
Taking care of business every day.
As an official sponsor of the U.S. Figure Skating Association, Office Depot is proud to salute these talented young athletes.
Taking care of business, working overtime.
As the best six-time world professional champions, 1984 world champions from Toronto, Canada, Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
Welcome back to Champions on Ice in Charlotte, North Carolina. And there they are from Canada, Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini. Six-time world professional champions, five-time national pairs champions from Canada. And Rosalind, they are the very definition of athleticism and grace.
They are definitely the best. And I tell you, nobody can create the magic and the electricity as Barbie and Paul. Look at that height.
Paul is a former hockey player, and it can be frightening the way he sails Barbara through the air on the ice.
I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be true.
They always seem to have a romantic something between the two of them. And actually, they're both married to non-skaters. They live in Toronto, and they're both parents. And she's a new mommy, and she just loves it.
Some of us I've seen might never be mean.
Barbie told me it puts a whole new perspective on her skating. Those throw double sows and the different lifts, they don't mean as much anymore. I mean, they love to skate, but there's not that pressure anymore. When you have a little baby at home, she says nothing's as special as seeing them smile.
With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you.
on the ice once again, Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini from Canada.
Next on the ice, 1984 and 1988 Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt. Tonight skates her Olympic short program in the persona of Robin Hood. It is a character she has always wanted to portray.
I really enjoy trying to portray a character out there. And like Robin Hood, you know, it's like I have done so many characters in the female part, and I thought, what is really left for me? And then Robin Hood came by, and I thought, wow, this is really great opportunity. The music was great when I listened to it, and I'll always love the character, even when I was little, watching the movies. And I thought, God, I wish I could be Robin Hood one day, you know, someone who was fighting for poor people, was fighting for freedom. I mean, his whole personality, and I mean, he was such a hero. And so I decided I really want to portray his character. And especially for me, it's fun to dress up like a guy. You know, it's with the twinkle in an eye. But I really like it. I like the tights. I like to have a leather vest on. Just not to be like a woman and be seductive out there. Just to go out there and try to be powerful, being strong, using the strength, what I have built up through the year. And it just feels great, but still, of course, inside myself, you know, I'm a woman, you know, but it's kind of really funny. And it's a great program for me. It really, the music pushes me through.
With the music as her guide and with the direction of choreographer Sandra Bezic, Katarina's childhood dreams slowly developed into reality.
It was really funny because both she and me, you know, we both like to be women out there and doing all those movements. And all of a sudden, we're standing there and saying, look, we cannot do this move because we're guys here. You know, you cannot move your hip. You know, you have to be stronger and more masculine. And it was just so funny because I did two different numbers. We make them up at the same time. And one was very feminine and the other one, like Robin Hood, is more strong. And then you stand there and you have to be more stronger and more stiff, you know, and not moving your hips and not being soft.
Seductive, athletic, artistic, and creative. It's a combination that's won her 2 Olympic gold medals and tested her ability. And it's that personal test, the challenge of perfecting those elements, that keeps Katarina Witt competitive and at the same time gives her so much pleasure.
I was always someone who tried to have a balance between the jumping and the artistry, but the joy and the fun for me is more in creating the whole program and then doing all the steps and going through different emotions through the programs. This is what I more enjoy about.
Zayak does most of Katarina's choreography, and Sandra really knows how to bring out the sensuality in her skating. This number is extra special because it marks her competitive comeback.
Mentioned that this Robin Hood number is something that Katarina has always dreamed about. And this young woman who won her first Olympic gold medal in 1984 in Sarajevo and has remained in the upper echelon of skating ever since, and that alone is a remarkable achievement.
Katarina loves to compete. She just couldn't stay away from the Olympics.
Yuta Mueller, her coach, looking on. And we'll return with more of Champions on Ice in a moment. Welcome back to Champions on Ice. Bill McAtee along with Rosalind Sumners. And Rosa, what we're seeing tonight is part of the professional skating circuit. What is that lifestyle like day in and day out?
Well, this is the glamorous part right here. Tonight, the lights, the audience, the costumes, but the lifestyle that goes behind it, the 8 to 10 hour bus trips, the hotel food, getting homesick, different city every night. It's a very tough lifestyle. It's not that glamorous.
We should note that Tonya Harding arrived 5 minutes before the program started tonight. That's a good example of what the skaters face going from city to city. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about professional skaters going back and skating as amateurs. Is that something that you've ever considered?
Actually, no, definitely not. I loved my amateur career. I loved competing in the Olympics. But, you know, my life has changed so much, and I love the performing. That's where my mindset is right now. And there's so much pressure. The sport has changed so much, and I wouldn't want to walk back into that fishbowl of pressure.
Well, it's good to have you with us. We miss seeing you out on the ice, though. We'll return with more Champions on Ice from Charlotte in a moment.
Champions on Ice. Once again, please welcome Elaine, Zayak.
Welcome back to Independence Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Champions on Ice on USA. And that is Elaine Zayak, the 1982 world champion.
Such freedom as a professional skater to choose the music and the style, to do really anything you want, and it's so fun. And Elaine's just having a great time out here with this achy breaky heart. When Elaine came onto the skating scene and made a big splash, she was the one that was doing all the triples. She's the one that changed the course of figure skating.
tell my heart, my achy, murky heart, he might blow up and kill this man.
Elaine skated in ice capades for a few years after the Olympics. She never really found her niche. She tried a little bit of teaching, then she decided to take a few years off, and now she's come back, she reinstated. She's been competing for an entire season now, and she's really done it for herself, not for the judges, not for the public, but just for Elaine.
Elaine Zayak from Paramus, New Jersey. She decided to come back after watching the U.S. Championships on TV. And nice job tonight.
Next on the ice is the pair's team of Renee Roca and Gorsha Sur, who've received the support of all the skating community in their effort to gain U.S. citizenship for Gorsha. It is an effort that has brought them closer together both on and off the ice.
When you're competing as a couple instead of by yourself as a single, there are two people to worry about here, and you know, it's not two individuals, because he and I become we, and in those terms we're in this together, and so everything affects us as a unit now, you know, so it's not an individual thing anymore.
Please welcome Renee Roca and
The 1993 U.S. champions, Renee Roca and Gorsha Sur, skating to box Adagio.
These two have such versatility to their skating. This shows the much more serious side. Renee can get such emotion in her face.
Mentioned earlier, Renee from the United States and Gorsha from Russia. Both had great success skating with other partners.
It usually takes so many years for a team to acquire this kind of unison, and they've done it in a short 3 years. Really has a Baryshnikov quality to him. They are the epitome of ice dancing.
Renee, Roca, and Gorsha Sir.
They are absolutely beautiful.
And some of the folks here in Charlotte on their feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Wagenhoffer.
Once again, the two-time world professional men's champion, Robert Wagenhoffer.
I could smile for a while. Then I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight. When you stopped to say hello, you wished me well. You couldn't tell that I'd been crying over you, crying over you. Then you said so long, left me standing all alone, alone and crying.
Robert is one of my very favorite skaters. He pays so much attention to the little details in his programs. There's a camel spin, 2 different directions. He's very talented. A sit spin, the opposite direction. Again, you don't see that very often. Backspin, very unusual for a man, but very effective.
Robert Wagenhoffer.
Next on the ice is Scott Hamilton, and you know, Roz, when we talked with Scott earlier in the show, he mentioned how important it was to appeal to the audience, and one key element in creating that appeal, of course, is the music that you perform. In the Mood is a number that both Scott and his audiences have grown to love.
It's a number that I've really grown to love, and big band sound is fun, and it's timeless. I mean, everybody from a little guy that may or may not like rap, you know, to somebody that's, you know, retired and is more familiar with that music, you know, contemporary way. I mean, everybody likes it, and it's friendly, and it's fun, and it gives me an opportunity to play with the audience. So In the Mood I've had for a long time, and I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to use it, but who knows? I like it a lot. It's fun to do.
And taking the ice once again, the '84 Olympic gold medalist, Scott Hamilton.
party time. That's Scott. Skating is a party for him. And as you'll see, everybody else will party right along with him. Skater, I think he would have been a comedian.
You know, some of what Scott does, particularly the footwork, is so intricate.
He's got quick feet. Is he had enough? Oh, here it comes. I fall for that every time.
Every time I see that, that's amazing.
He's still Olympic gold.
Oh, yeah, Scott Hamilton.
He loves it. And they love him. They're on their feet. He does it every time.
The show-stopping number from Scott Hamilton. And they're on their feet here in Charlotte. And we'll be back with more of Champions on Ice in a moment.
Still to come on USA's Champions on Ice, the artistry and athleticism of Katarina Witt, the elegance of the dance team of Judy Blumberg and Jim York, Tonya Harding, plus an emotional tribute from Martini and Under.
Gia Goodall.
professional skater, it's so important to continue growing as an artist. It's important to try new styles, try a different character. That was great. Fun, fresh, different.
Gia Gadot.
Two words. Katarina Witt.
And on the ice, simply Katarina Witt.
She can be sexy, and in the next number, she can be an actress. And still do a gorgeous triple toe. And a triple sow. She still is great. Katarina has the entire audience in the palm of her hand.
The artistry and athleticism of Katarina Witt.
She is simply the best.
Welcome back, Elizabeth Punselin and Jared Swallow.
And back on the ice once again, the ice dancing pair of Elizabeth Punselin and Jared Swallow, who got married in September of '93. Elizabeth is 22 years old, Jared 27, and they both train with the Detroit Skating Club. U.S. champions in 1991.
program can take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to choreograph. You not only work on the ice, but you also work off the ice in front of a mirror to make sure every head movement, every arm movement with them is in unison, goes to the music. And then when you're done the choreography, then it takes a long time to train the number.
I think that's one of the toughest things to do if your partner falls, is to get right back in the routine, play catch up a little bit and not miss any steps.
Because what happens sometimes is you're so into the music and you're so into the character and having fun that an edge just slips or gets caught, and next thing you're down. And the most important thing is to get right back up and keep going. Make it look easy, but this is a hard number.
The applause for Elizabeth Punselin and Jared Swallow from Detroit. When we return, we'll go up close and personal with Paul Martini and Barbara Underhill, who've recently overcome a personal tragedy and now have returned to skating. That's next on Champions on Ice.
Once again, Tonya Harding.
Welcome back. Charlotte, North Carolina, Champions on Ice on USA. And on the ice now, Tonya Harding. 1991 U.S. champion. And the silver medalist at the World Championships in '91.
Tonya and I have both worked with Barbara Flowers, ballet coach and a choreographer from Seattle, Washington, and she's done so much for Tonya. She's really started to bring out the lady in Tonya. Tonya is so athletic.
23-year-old Tonya Harding.
Here they are, Judy Blumberg and Jim York.
And once again, the ice dancing team of Judy Blumberg and Jim York.
Was choreographed by Rob McBrien of the Ice Dance Theater of New York. Judy is so happy. She just loves to skate. She was very lucky finding Jim. Difficult each year to find new music to skate to. It really needs to suit your personality. You have to really feel the music. This song, Primitive by Annie Lennox, really suit Judy and Jim. They really skate from the soul, don't they?
Beautiful number from Judy Blumberg and Jim York. There's Judy, and she's one of the nicest people around.
She overcame serious knee surgery last year, and watching her tonight, you'd never know it.
Almost 2 years ago, Paul Martini and Barbara Underhill decided to take a break from the rigors of tour skating to pursue other interests and spend time with their families. But the tragic death of Barbara's daughter Stephanie has brought them back together, searching for the strength in a sport they love most, skating. For author E.M. Forster, the phrase "only connect" referred to the connection he tried to create between place and time, between character and reader. The phrase could aptly apply to the skating of Paul Martini and Barbara Underhill. For 17 years, they've connected to form maybe the greatest Paris team ever, capturing the emotion of the moment and conveying that to the audience and each other. Nowhere was that more evident than at their last appearance in Cincinnati.
Well, today you saw a trio. The beauty about what we do is that when you're out on the ice, it's like no one can touch you. There's a certain feeling of being, especially when it's theatrically lit. The arena is dark. We can't see the audience. All we can see is each other. They're the only people, the only person that we can relate to when we're out there. So in a lot of the material we do, it's designed to make that male-female thing happen, because that's what a pair team and a dance team has over a single skater. Their only opportunity to interact is with the audience. We enjoy the luxury of having each other to interact with, and I think as a person sitting at home watching us skate, you want to emote that kind of feeling. That's what makes them get drawn into what you are doing, and if you can succeed in doing that, then I think you've done a decent job on the day.
And it's the interaction that they've had with each other that's allowed them to persevere through the tragic death of Barbara's daughter, Stephanie. Between them, there's inspiration, a newfound hope and comfort, not only in their skating, but also in a song.
It's a type of piece where, when we were putting it together, I said to Barb and I said to Sandra Bezic, our choreographer, I said, it's a piece of music that I can really crawl inside of. Like, I don't feel like whether the building is full or empty, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's that strong a piece for the two of us, I think. And I don't think you're ever going to see it the same way twice. I think each time you watch it, there'll be subtle little differences just depending upon the mood of the day or where we're at on any given day. So I think it's going to be a unique piece in that it's not going to be very standardized at all in terms of what we as performers put into it and therefore what the audience gets out of it.
What they've gotten out of it is a new source of strength. Ironically, skating was a life they briefly gave up in the midst of a birth. A life they've now returned to ease the pain of tragedy.
It's funny, when it first happened, I thought, boy, I'll never ever be able to skate again ever in my life. Like, how can I ever feel happiness ever again? And I started coming into the rink every day, and I felt it again. And every day I look forward to coming to the rink because it's a release. I don't think I've ever been more motivated or more determined in my whole life, in my whole skating career. I get on the ice and it's a complete release, and I just forget about everything for a couple of hours, and I don't know what I'm going to do when it's over, because it's really helped me a lot.
So now, in a very personal and emotional routine, here's Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini skating to Yesterday.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday.
We've all grown so close over the years to the different tours and shows and competitions. And when a tragedy does happen, the support and the love between all of us is amazing. Very emotional number. She is one special lady.
Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini. Welcome back to Champions on Ice, and as you can see, all of our skaters are back out for one last look. And have you had a good time tonight, Rosalind?
I've had a great time. I missed being out there just a little bit, but I tell you, being on this side gives me so much more respect for skating.
Robert Wagenhoffer.
Little ice surfing, maybe?
Once again, Tonya Harding.
Great balls of fire. There she goes.
And the distinctive style of Gary Beacom.
I gotta go home and practice that move right there.
Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
You're such a class act. Nothing like loving what you do.
And hoping your partner catches you. And of course, Katarina Witt.
Katarina, my competitor from 1984 Olympics. She's become a very good friend. She's a sweetheart.
One more time, the flip from Scott Hamilton.
If he was to go back in Olympic competition today, he would give the top guys a real run for their money.
Well, we hope you've had a good time with us tonight. For all of us at USA, I'm Bill McAtee along with Rosalind Sumners. So long from Champions on Ice in Charlotte, North Carolina.